So if you're one of the millions of people whose sleep is constantly being torpedoed by a partner
Hmm.
who sounds like like a passing freight train, you've definitely seen the ads for the QuietLab Plus. They look incredible, right? This sleek, high-tech mouthpiece that promises silent nights
Hmm.
and it has 25 different settings. Let's do a deep dive and figure out what actually happens when you put this thing in your mouth.
Yeah, let's. So what we're really talking about here is something called a mandibular advancement device. It's basically a fancy term for a jaw-advancing mouth guard. It's not new tech.
Okay, so how does it work?
It's pretty simple at its core. It just holds your lower jaw slightly forward while you sleep.
And that does what exactly?
Well, by moving the jaw, it pulls the base of the tongue and other soft tissues forward too. It stops them from collapsing into your airway. That's what prevents the vibration, or, the sound we call snoring.
That makes sense. But the big selling point, the thing they push in every ad, is those 25 settings. That promise of like hyper-personalization. Is that real or is it just marketing sizzle?
It's the first big reality check, I think. You don't just, pick setting 12 and go to sleep.
Oh, okay.
Those 25 settings mean you have to do the work. You adjust it forward by these tiny, tiny increments. You're basically running an experiment on yourself over weeks.
That sounds frustrating.
It can be, because if you move it too far, too fast, you wake up with some serious jaw pain. But if you don't move it far enough, you're still snoring. So finding that sweet spot is a slow and honestly often uncomfortable process.
But, and this is the big question, when you finally find that spot, does the engineering actually deliver? Does it make things quiet?
It absolutely can. But, and this is a huge but, it only works for the right kind of snorer.
What do you mean, the right kind?
Our sources are clear on this. When you get it dialed in, it really can drop the snoring volume way down. It can even stop those, sudden loud snorts that shake the whole house. That part is real.
Okay.
However, it only works if your snoring is caused by that soft tissue vibration we talked about. The tongue, the soft palate.
So wait, if I'm snoring because I have a cold or my sinuses are blocked up,
Then you're out of luck. Exactly. If your main issue is nasal congestion, allergies, a deviated septum, this thing isn't going to touch it. It can't change your nasal airflow. You really need to know why you're snoring before you buy one.
right. But even for that right person, it sounds like there are other costs, not just the money. I mean, we need to talk about the physical trade-offs.
Hmm.
Is waking up sore just part of the deal?
In the beginning, yes, pretty much. Jaw soreness is probably the number one complaint. People describe it like a tension headache, but it's focused right around the jaw joint. And that's because you are actively straining those muscles all night long.
And what about the long game? If you're holding your jaw in a weird position for 8 hours a night, every single night,
Mm-hmm.
what does that do over time?
That's the critical point. That continuous pressure puts stress on what's called the TMJ, the temporomandibular joint.
Your jaw joint.
Your jaw joint, yeah. While that initial soreness might fade, long-term use could make existing issues, like jaw clicking, a lot worse. It can even affect your bite over time. If you already have sensitive teeth or TMJ problems, this kind of device is probably not for you. You're trading one problem for another.
So when we boil it all down, what does this mean for someone listening who's considering that $150 gamble for a quiet night?
It means the QuietLab Plus isn't snake oil. It's a real tool that can work for some people. But it is so dependent on your personal anatomy and your tolerance for discomfort. It is not a guaranteed fix, not by a long shot. If you expect instant, perfect silence, you are going to be really disappointed.
So the whole decision really just hinges on your willingness to experiment, to tolerate
Yeah.
that whole adjustment period.
Right. And that brings us to the final question we want to leave you with. Given how much success depends on the type of snoring you have, before you spend any money on a device that moves your jaw, have you actually confirmed where your snoring is coming from? Is it your throat or is it your nose? Pinpointing that cause is really the only shortcut here.